In the end, it took less than 30 years for the world as we know it to fall. 95% of the population died. There were a litany of causes, not that it mattered in the end. Our infrastructure failed, and with no electricity, our communications, lights, and internet failed too. There weren't even enough survivors left to tend the fields and care for the remaining livestock. As if any of us had any of the necessary skills. Those few of us who remained barricaded ourselves into makeshift fortresses, although we had no idea what we thought we were hiding from. To paraphrase that ass T.S. Eliot, not with a bang, but with a whimper, the world ended. Almost. In the late 2050s, the builders ended the crisis by combining biology, precision mechanics, and thermohydraulics to make constructs from the dead, human and otherwise. These automatons took up all the necessary repetitive tasks that keep us alive. The constructs follow algorithms and programmable, mindless cycles. The dead of all species have taken the place of slaves, and like those slaves, they have become the basis on which our recovery and our economy grow. They are everywhere. As humans, we have lost almost everything. But we do have what humanity has always had. We have hope.
That's what we started with. Hello, this is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin. This is and my friends here have agreed to join me to play tonight. And so let's introduce them. Guess who's going first?
I guess that's probably me.
That's Bison underscore Stonefist. Go.
Yeah, that's me. Bison underscore Stonefist. I do stuff mostly here. Yeah. Bleh. My words. They. Yeah. So Mondays I play Jack Aldridge, not a cop, on the Buffy the Vampire Slayer game, Grave New Worlds. This is Dead to Rights.
Yes.
On Tuesday,
it's Saturday.
I run a cyberpunk red game called Carnage Heights. It's a lot of fun. I got to take one of my players on an acid trip, and it was great.
Yes. It was a tremendous amount of fun to watch.
And lately I've been playing Dave the Diver, because everybody's playing Dave the Diver right now because it's awesome. On my own channel, when we don't have games here, I'll be playing there. Bam, I did it this time.
You did not. I saw you do it live. You were not prepared in any way, shape, or form. You could just type
I never
quickly.
said I was prepared. I did say I did it. I said I did it.
Fair point. I retract my complaint entirely. Phil, you're muted, so you go next.
All right, I will go next. Yeah, I play here sometimes when I'm not on vacation, like I was before. So that's why I've been absent.
Bastard.
Yeah, and I also play games, but I don't have a channel that I play them on. I just play modded Skyrim alone in my room. So not sponsored though. We're not sponsored by Bethesda.
Is that what you're calling it these days?
Sponsor me, Bethesda.
Yeah.
No. Other than that, yeah, I'm back here and
yeah.
Get ready to do some shit.
I realized I saved the artists for last-ish.
I'm an artist, just in the non-artist way.
Were you first?
bullshit artist.
Then all three
Yeah,
of you were
exactly.
last. Thunderscape_7. You're next. This
Not
fair is going to be
underscore,
fun tonight.
but-
Oh, sorry. I retract my underscore.
It's okay. I'm Thunderscape7 or Robin. I do art and hope to get back into it more as I finish unpacking my life. And dealing with a young child of a cat. But if I'm not here on Saturdays, I'm usually just hanging out on the Discord or being the peanut gallery on Twitch chat.
Yeah.
The best gallery.
The best galleries ever. If they are actually peanuts in there, nobody allergic need to come within 100 miles of our channel, because there's a lot of peanuts and a lot of gallery. To non-art artists, yes, I understand.
So you're
yeah.
just an ist.
It's just an ist.
Wayward Knight.
That's me.
Yeah, you should tell us about your own self.
Yeah, I'm Wayward Knight, aka Chris. I am an artist on the interwebs, and you can find all my shit here. You can buy my shit if I ever put it up again. And I run the Grave New World Buffy the Vampire Slayer TTRPG
Yes.
game on, I almost said Tuesdays. It's not Tuesdays, it's Mondays. It's
A lot of
Mondays.
fun.
It's extremely early on Tuesday, like 24 hours early. Yeah, it's because it's Monday. It's Monday you run that
Because it's
game every week.
Monday.
2 days from now, so you got lots of time. I'm sure you're.
9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. I almost said
Yes.
specific.
Yes.
It is specific.
It's
Pacific is
It's
pretty
kind of at the
specific.
top of
Yeah.
the hour
Specifically
sometimes, maybe.
Pacific.
Yes.
So yeah. Other than that, I play Delilah Stillwater on Saturday nights here, which is what we're doing right now. And I live on our Discord as well. So at me.
Speaking of our Discord and stuff, all of these wonderful people can be found there, and this channel is streaming currently 5-ish nights a week. So, all scheduling permitting, we are on here 5 nights a week. Check in at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. If we're not on, we'll see you tomorrow night. But we are on tonight.
For
so,
the record,
yes.
if you ever, it's okay. I understand that I'm always like, if I ever update my website or blah blah blah. I just decided to pivot my whole shit again. So like that's just gonna keep happening probably until
course.
like for a while.
You are an
So-
artist. Yes.
I mean, that is the artist dilemma.
yes, you are never done. Yes.
always
No work of art is ever done. Yes.
updating, always just
Mhm. It's
Always
close.
updating, never complete.
It's close, but let me get my brushes. Yes. So, with that, Roll20 is our virtual tabletop of choice. Many of the arts came from Pixabay. Several of the character art came through the use of Hero Forge, and some of the other art is actually from the manual for the system that we're using, which is Necrobiotic, which I don't mention often enough because we've kind of left it in the dust except for the mechanics. But fair enough.
I haven't
the
touched
mechanics
these
are
cards
cool.
in like 2 weeks.
Well, yeah.
As
Because
usual.
I haven't been here for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm so funny,
Your
guys.
cards were on vacation.
I know you missed the comedy.
Okay, let's do this quick before he starts talking again. Three of you are going to have to wait. The other one, Phil, Coes, you were with the rest of the group floating down the river, and you saw a mechanical dog. There's only one person in the world that could possibly. It's Thomas, has sent you this machine, and on it a plea for help. So I took it upon myself to sigh heavily and leap on the machine and head off to the rescue in your name. I hope that's acceptable.
No, that's fitting.
Okay.
That's entirely fitting.
And it's a ride. I mean, this is sort of like a 20-foot long version of the the robot dogs that are out now that dance
Yeah.
and run around. Yeah, this is like a 20-foot long steam-powered, heavy-duty armored version of one of those.
Jeez.
One of which you've already seen screech to a grinding, messy halt at the bottom of that S-turn. And yeah, it's just flying along the roads, heading back the way you came. Past all the scenery, go ahead.
Was there any specifics in the note, or just a big solid, just
I've been avoiding it massively because I don't remember and I didn't check.
You never told us what the note said.
That makes perfect sense. In that case, I
He
can
just
make it up
said,
now.
I think Koa said that Thomas, something he couldn't quite handle, and Fatima asked for help.
Yes. Okay. In that case, yes. I will paraphrase it slightly more information than that in there. It's actually from Fatima, and it says
Oh, okay.
your young friend has been nothing but helpful, but on occasion he does overdo it. Everyone else here listens to me. ... Like the rest of that sentence is left unsaid. Would very much appreciate your help. I'm afraid he's going to hurt more than he helps.
Okay. All right. Okay. Interesting where this might lead, but I kind of understand what this means. So yeah, I'm just gonna stay on the robot dog thingy and just continue barreling forward.
Okay. So as you're heading there, with only that information, what's going through your head? What it, like I don't want to say you're catastrophizing or worst case scenarioing, but it's COAS. So you're a cop. What are you trying to prepare yourself for on the way? Or are you?
Well, Fatima did say he was being helpful,
Oh yes. Yeah.
perhaps a bit too helpful.
Yes.
So that would mean that at least the intentions are good,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something that you can play off of.
Okay. It takes all night. I mean, it's a machine. It doesn't matter, right? Or one whole day. Sorry, it was morning when I think it was morning when you when you
I
jumped
feel
on.
like it would be morning, yeah.
I think so. Yeah. So all day long through the heat. I mean, it's early winter, but it's still Italy, right? I mean, it's still the Mediterranean. It's still warm, and you're on a steam-powered beast running through forests and up valleys and up switchback roads and all over. And so, but eventually, you crest the hill and see the mansion again for the first time in a long time. Well, relatively long time. I think it's been a week. Maybe less. But you see it for the first time. And I think the first thing that you'd notice is it and the grounds are spotless. There's no ash.
Oh,
So it's not only been cleaned of 2 feet of ash, but it's being kept clean on a regular basis. And as you see that, you see things that look like lawnmowers zipping around. They're like giant vacuums, not a human body part in sight. They're all completely mechanical, doing that sort of thing. There are a couple of go.
is the ash still perpetually falling?
Not
you say
falling.
it's-
Not falling. All that's blown south. The explosion stopped and the ash has blown south.
It's because
But
you
this
had
is there was about it was knee deep when you guys left. So
Oh, okay, yeah.
other than on the grounds, the only part that had been cleaned even on the grounds was the driveway while it was still falling when you guys left. So now the whole area all around the trees. So there's this weird little patch of green, which I think you just left all that wonderful green lush valley, right? And then you're back into the ash fall, and then you come over the hill, and poof, there's this little emerald
Patch of verdant, yeah.
olive trees and everything else. There is a couple things. It looks like about a quarter of the olive trees got burned in some event. There's a fairly large chunk of the stone wall in that same corner of the compound's broken.
Oh. This is not gonna be fun, but it needs to be done.
So down the hill. As it stomps to a stop outside in the courtyard, you see Fatima's already outside. Somebody was obviously watching, which I mean makes sense. You'd be on guard. So she's sort of standing on the steps when you pull into the yard. And you jump off, and she, as you do, notices your weight is gone, and the machine goes back and parks itself sort of along the fence. And
That's
only
cool.
only then does she come over and give you a big hug and stand back and put her hands on your shoulders. She just completely ignores the awkwardness with the way you return the hug. Yeah. And puts her hands on your shoulder and looks very seriously at you as the sun is setting. Says, "You got to stop him. I think he's in love."
in love with like. Oh,
One
okay,
of-
let's
one of-
back up here.
One or more of the girls.
Okay, and how does that quite relate to all this? Is this like
Well, you can't tell
happened
me
here?
you were never a teenage boy.
wanted to
You're
impress?
Exactly.
Exactly. God damn it. Um.
2
Okay.
fires, 3 drinks, and a drunken promise. And he's off to Florence to save the city from itself.
It's like 12. Who gave him drinks?
He's, and I quote, all grown up now.
Right, but you still. Someone should have been paying attention and not allowed him to get a hands on alcohol.
I am a specialist in young women. Young men are small feral creatures which should be kept in the yard.
I don't argue with that there. Okay then. So he's gone to Florence to
Yes, save them.
save them. He
Yes.
does realize that there is no one technically in Florence right now to save.
He is taking more of those gigantic walkie things to Florence than there are snails crawling around on the wreckage.
Okay. And did he say what he intends to do there other than save?
He didn't,
Is he
he didn't
rebuilding? Is
say
he-
it, but he's got his little heart set on being a hero. I'm not quite sure how he thinks it's going to happen, but I think if he does something there and comes back, he's expecting something like a triumphal return in Rome.
Ugh.
A lot of fawning and wooing and yes,
Yeah,
girls.
kid. Well, nothing we can do about that. Nice seeing you.
She grins and leans in, looks around and says, "You may need to kill him."
I will. I don't want that on my conscience. Conscious? Why did I say
Conscience,
conscience?
with an
Conscience. Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, too much writing on that back of that thing. It made my head joggle a bit. Okay. Yeah. I'll head into Florence. I'll try to talk to him. Doesn't usually end up going well. He always takes like I say something and I explain it out and he takes the one specific bit where it's like, "Oh, I can do this," and he does it.
And you don't just hit him. Isn't that what boys do when they need them to remember something? Don't you say it and hit them and say it and hit them and say it and hit?
No,
Isn't that how that?
no, that's not.
Spray them with water? I don't remember.
That's like I think that's I don't even know what you would do that for. A feral jaguar or something. I
Well,
don't-
this is why I called you.
Yeah. No, I still think that going a bit softer here is the way to go to get through to him, but it's gonna be painful. Okay. All right, okay. I take it you want to stay here and not help with this because it's gonna be a handful, and you've already had a handful with him. Yeah. Okay.
There's a nod. Yeah, we've cleared the road. At previously, it was just make work mostly, but we've cleared the road in both directions. So most of the way to Florence, you could actually take one of his creations or one of the ones that's in the garage. You know how to drive them, right?
I mean, no, I don't.
No, I was going to
It
say
would
you've
be-
either ridden on one of Thomas's or ridden in Veritas.
I'm just gonna.
Oh, well, we have bicycles.
Yeah, I can deal with that. I can deal with a bicycle. Or can't we use one of these?
Please be one of those bicycles that has the really big wheel and
The
two
penny
tiny small
farthing.
ones.
But what was Coas?
I point over to the mechanical dog thingy.
Oh, do you know how to program it?
I thought you programmed it. That's why you had sent it with the help message.
I have. Let me see. And she runs back inside and comes out with a box of punch cards. And, oh, Florence, here you go. Open up the hump, and it's got like a Brahmable sort of hump here between the shoulders. You pop that open, and there's a little pin that sticks up out of a plate. This is like 1970s remote control car tech. And it's you realize you have to point the dog magnetic north, and then put the thing in and wind it up basically, and start it, and it will take you there.
All right, and so yeah, I'll punch the clock in.
Okay.
And make my way down into the destroyed ruins of Florence.
Down the road, hammering around. As you leave, I don't know if you notice or not, but Fatima kind of watches you to the tree line and then turns around and walks back to the door and turns around and looks down at the burnt part of the olive orchard and the broken fence. I think he's gonna have to kill him. And she walks inside and closes the door.
On his way.
Mhm.
Kind of
Now
out of
what? Yeah, I was going to ask you again. Now that you have a little more
Yeah.
information, now what are you thinking?
Kois is gonna think to himself that like, or he's gonna like kind of mutter to himself as he comes along. He's like, I don't know how I got into this situation, being a caregiver for someone. He could hardly do it with the other siblings back in the day. This is rough. This kid needs a proper figure to kind of look up to, someone that's a bit more stable. I just wish we figured out who.
And as you get to that moment, you come around the corner and there's three of the, I want to call them mechs, three of the constructs, these huge, gigantic technofans, that's what they're called. There's three of them wrecked. Like they're because he had his whole swarm, right? And it looks like he came around the corner too wide, too fast, and three of them went into the ditch and just.
Okay.
There's a couple of footprints around it, and then gone. So he didn't spend more than like 2 minutes out of his technofan. Oh well, they're wrecked. Let's go back in and gone.
All right, I'll continue forward.
You find a couple more of those. Like there's by the time you get there, less than half of them made it. So he never slowed down. He never learned. He keeps pushing them too hard, pushing them too hard, and pushing them too hard. And just before you get to Florence, you know there's only one or two more ridges. You can see ahead of you, it's almost like a heat mist on the horizon, but it's not that hot. And you realize what it is. It's the steam from his little group of technofans.
Okay.
And you get over the hill, and there's a whole bunch of them. Some of them have run into trees. Some of them are still grinding away, walking in a river. But it looks like they got to one point and then just kind of wandered off. And you see his tiny form bent over the main one, waist deep inside, trying to fix something.
So I'll kind of make my way up, kind of slow.
He doesn't even notice you. You could walk up behind him and kill him with a stick. He's that like gone into his project.
Yeah, I take out my repeating hand crossbow, aim it at couple shots. No.
Fatima said I had to.
Yeah. No. I'm gonna kind of just walk up, kind of just watch him for a second, see how he interacts with both I want to see how he interacts with it. I want to see I want to try to gauge his mindset here. Is he frustrated? Is he?
He's sweary, crying. He's enraged. He's got that powerless rage, like he can't finish his mission. He's just, but at the same time, he's just bawling his eyes out. He's probably doing more damage inside that thing than he's actually fixing right now.
I'm actually gonna kind of just give him a second to just let this out.
Yeah.
As he continues to kind of, in a way, tire himself out.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like that would be a bit cathartic.
Yeah. After another couple seconds, you hear clang, the indescribable the sound of meat being caught between two large pieces of metal. And he comes out of that thing so fast. It's just like watching like skipped frames in a movie. It's just he's up and throwing something right in your general direction before he even opens his eyes, and it's like watching himself not have time to do anything about it, and he lets go and it's headed right at
Alright.
you.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
attempt to catch it.
Okay, yeah,
I'm guessing. Oh, I haven't done this. Dexterity.
yep. So that
Alright.
is yep.
That is what? Which suit is that again?
I just realized I don't have my cheat sheet up. Is that
I don't
diamonds?
have my sheet up
Yeah.
either. Diamonds. I do. I know I have Peerless, I think, or Tireless, where I get to keep one of the ones that I play.
Yes.
Dexterity
clubs.
is clubs.
Clubs. Okay.
Clubs.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'm gonna do a.
Which I said, but I was muted.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I did the same thing.
Unprepared GM
Same.
over here.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. So clubs. Yeah.
Do I know the difficulty of this? Is it 1? Is it 2? to catch? Okay, wait. I want to catch and make it look cool, so I'm gonna do. It's probably gonna be 2, right?
Yes. Yeah. 1. I was gonna say 1. You sort of prevent yourself from getting hit. 2. You can actually catch it.
All right. I'm gonna play a 7 and a 3 of clubs, so that's 3 successes.
3 successes. Okay.
And I'm
So-
gonna keep the 7.
Okay. So yeah, he throws it and you just. You still got an extra success. What do you want to do with that? I told you you could catch it for 2. So
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of catch it
yeah.
and then gently set it down. It
Okay.
kind of as a show of like, let's calm down. Let's be delicate here.
Yeah. Hi. I didn't
Hey,
mean to
Thomas.
try and kill you.
It's all right. You weren't.
I
paying
can't do
attention.
anything right.
Come here, Thomas. What's going on? Explain to me what's happening here.
I want to save some people. Everybody around is just like saving people and making people better. And I'm just like mowing the lawn.
And what was your plan here?
I was going to go
How do
dig
how
out.
do you want to help people?
I was going to
here?
dig out all the ash so everybody could move back in.
Okay, that was a
The ash is
decent.
between 3 and 10 meters deep. Every building is fallen down
Yeah.
to the rubble
Yeah.
level. Yeah, just so you know, just to be clear, and for anybody, I'll use the excuse for our newer viewers.
There you go.
Yeah,
That is quite an ambitious goal, Thomas, and that is something maybe that you can work towards too. But that's not viable for right off the bat. And as you saw,
I'm gonna do a little bit at a time, and then steal all the cool shit, and take it back and show everybody.
right. And how does all that cool shit help them?
They'll think I'm cool.
Right, but why would they care?
I
They
don't.
have
I don't care that they don't care.
no, Thomas. They
What?
wouldn't.
They don't.
They wouldn't.
They
They wouldn't
don't.
necessarily think you would be cool from that.
Oh, I thought you meant care. No, they don't care at all. They don't even see
No.
me.
In what way, Thomas? Do they just completely ignore you?
They stay in the house. They don't come out. I say hi. They just giggle and walk away. Fatima's
Are you
always
t-
mean to me.
And how is she mean to you, Fatima?
She won't let me eat with. She don't let me eat with the girls.
Are you doing all of this just to impress them?
No, I'm doing it because I want to be a hero.
And why do you want to be a hero?
Because I want. Oh. Okay, yeah, I want to impress them.
And wanting to impress people, inherently, that's not a bad thing. But it's the reasoning behind wanting to impress people. You just want to impress them, so well, why do you want to impress them, Thomas?
Just like fills up like a thermometer in a hot room. Just blush. He can't even talk.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's okay, Thomas. You can have crushes on people. I had
Who
someone
said
your age.
Who? Did you?
I did. And you know what happened?
He looks behind you at the wreckage around you. You fucked it all up?
Yep,
Please tell me you fucked it all. You did.
I did.
You?
Yeah.
You're like the coolest guy I know.
But it took a while for me to get. But it's he registers the compliment like after he started speaking,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh. No." Well, see, what happened was I got too, I guess you could call it cocky in myself. You know, I was like kind of I was head of the class. You know, I was like also high on this. Do they do sports still?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell the story.
No, I was head
that,
on the.
That was Kevin, not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was head on the mechanical frisbee team. You know, then a bunch of the girls coming out for the for on the bleachers, and it was going well. And I thought, you know what, everyone loves me. Why would someone say no? And so I went and I asked, and I got rejected, and I kind of blew up at myself. You know, I felt so much inner, kind of what you're feeling right now, like a lot of inner turmoil, and me like, well, I'm the coolest guy I know. Why shouldn't they like me? But I
I'm the
realized,
only guy I know.
but
You realize at that whole place, everybody else, some of the travelers through have been male, the people that they've saved, but yeah, Fatima and the girls are the only people there. And him. And the robots.
but what I realized from that was that it took a while. Yeah, I didn't have someone there helping me kind of go through that and talk about it. I didn't want to bring it up to anyone in my family because I knew they would just make fun of me for that. Uh, but what I realized was that it was less about my actions and how I went about them. It was more about the intentions behind the actions. I did all of that and I thought I could get anything I wanted because I thought I was so cool. But sometimes in life, like people have different ideas of cool and differing ideas on just stuff in general. And so I to them I wasn't that cool just because I could throw a frisbee or just because, and I wasn't entitled to anything. I shouldn't be entitled to everything just because I think I'm the coolest.
I never thought I was the coolest. I mean, I'm the best thief that's ever walked the universe, but that's different. That's what I was going to do. Use skills, right?
Yeah, use your skills to help people.
I know where there is a buttload of jewelry.
Right. And
And
why
if
would
I
they care?
dig it out and take it back and give it to them, they'll like me. They might even let me eat in the main kitchen again.
Thomas, look around you. Kind of like turns him towards Florence.
Yeah.
There's not really much left. And so it kind of turns him back. Jewelry and stuff like that, sure, that's a nice thing, but that's not the first, that's the farthest on a lot of those people's minds. Those people are just worried about what's the future and about just living day to day, you know, especially being stuck in that mansion. A lot of people probably are getting a bit sick of it. They need someone who doesn't care about materialistic things, and they need someone who cares about the future and what might happen, and trying to keep everyone safe and calm. You know,
You said they don't get to go outside very much. Like again, he's picked up one thing out of the whole
Yeah.
strand of shit that you
and
said.
so Coase
Yeah.
is trying to go along with that.
Yeah.
Whatever one thing he picks up, he's
Mhm.
trying to shape that into his
So-
own kind of message here.
So how about I arrange trips inside the techno fence?
If they want that, maybe. Why Why don't you ask them what they would like?
Because when I talk to them, my lips go and I feel like a bear.
Well, you're talking to me normally, right?
Yeah, you're not a girl.
Yeah. So then treat them like that. Treat them like you're talking. Well,
I don't want to. I
treat them
want to
like you're
treat them
talking-
like they're girls. I
Why?
don't think he can't even make eye contact. Like he just says, he just bared his soul to you. I think I'd love them, all of them.
Thomas.
He's 14 after all. I mean, aim big, son.
Thomas. I got a question for you. What's their favorite colors?
How would I know that?
See, Thomas. You don't love them, Thomas. You just like the thought of them. You haven't actually spoken to any of them, have you?
No, I keep
I
going.
mean-
No, no, no.
Why don't you get yourself in that situation where you're starting to talk to them, see them less at first, just try to see them as people, as someone you can just who's just around.
Okay. I used to see
And
them as people, and then now I don't.
That's perfectly fine. You're growing older. You're going through. Oh God, I'm giving him the talk. Oh, shit. You're getting older, and your mind's gonna develop, and you're gonna start to think about other things. And the key takeaway here is just everyone around has their own stuff that's going on, and they're not just accessories or things to woo or things to kind of give gifts to. They're their own people. They have their own worries and fears,
They're
all that.
people, and I should talk to them
like people.
like people. I mean,
Get to
why
know-
not? I tried everything else, nothing else. But never mind. I tried
Exactly.
everything else.
Yeah, exactly. You tried everything else, so then
The nothing else was Kevin, but never mind. But he's 14. He tried everything else.
Yeah. what else do you have to lose, kid?
Okay, we should go back.
Yeah.
I
Um,
can't.
Yeah, what about all these guys that kind of just
I think we're gonna have to take them back two at a time. Like I
That's
drive
okay.
one and you drive one.
yeah, that's fine. And if it takes us all day, so be it.
Okay.
Because this is a mess that you made, and unfortunately, there are not going to be people cleaning up after you. You have to clean it up yourself.
Oh,
help.
I left because I was spending all my time cleaning up.
Right. But
I think
not just
growing
gonna-
up is mostly cleaning up after yourself. And he starts slamming the door back on
Yeah.
his machine and clamping it back shut, trying to build up steam.
if it helps, see it this way. If they're kind of left here, then who knows what will happen to them. You don't want your possessions to be destroyed or taken or damaged. Well,
But to be fair,
damaged.
I stole them all.
Right. But they're yours now.
It'd kind of be fun to steal some of them again. I kind of hope somebody figures out how to use them.
Probably not the best idea. Let's just round it up, kid. Come on.
And he looks at you like he's about to give you the good old days speech about how the biggest problems in his world was stealing technofans, like 2 weeks ago. But instead he gets into his, gets it fired up, and just before are you going to climb back on the dog for the ride back just because it's already powered up?
Yeah,
Or-
I'm basically gonna climb up on the dog and just kind of watch him get into his mech. And he goes, "You know, maybe this big brother thing isn't so hard after all. Maybe I should speak to Artemis. Like really speak to her."
And you hear from Thomas, oh, the timing couldn't be better. You hear from Thomas, Fatima's really pretty, right? And that's where we're gonna drop the. You got to
like,
say, I
thinking
got
to
this
himself-
solved. It's like, oh God, he's in love with Fatima.
Isn't Fatima like 50 something?
She's a billion as far as he's
Hmm.
concerned. Yeah,
Hmm.
he's
Yeah, 'cause
also
Carol is an
he's also
older
14.
teen.
Yeah, Yeah.
Carol's like 17, 18,
Yeah.
19, and Fatima's her mother.
Yeah,
So there's
so
a-
50
yeah.
At
ish.
least
Yeah.
40.
Yeah, but
40,
his
50.
40
yeah,
something.
but he's 14, so he's
Yeah, as far as he's concerned, she's Galadriel.
well, I might get that too, but I might also I might get added for this, but he's still at that point where he's confusing mommy and lover. Right.
And with that, I think I'm closing
And
that
we're
scene
gonna
there.
Yes,
I'm closing it for
back
you.
outside the fair.
I'll be back. I'm gonna grab some water.
Yeah. Yeah,
No,
because
more
that
like the
'cause that
sound
didn't
of
end up
fireworks
creepy.
continuously going off and Artemis
Still.
screeching.
still pounding fireworks. By this point, I'm going to presume that you've all got a headache. I mean, the fireworks have been going on since you've been in
Nothing else
range.
to smell.
And the smell and the sulfur in the air and the clouds and the smell of popcorn and candied corn and everything.
Candied everything.
Yeah, and fried everything, and but it's also medieval, so there's chickens running around because there's chickens everywhere. You can't go anywhere in any medieval world without it just being covered in chickens. So they're everywhere.
We've regressed so
Like the
far.
rats of Italy.
Yeah, yeah. So, but you can see you're still not quite there, so you can still see down the road the doors to the.
Well, no, we're parked outside it.
You're parked outside, yeah. So I was
Yeah.
gonna say you can see the doors of the city are open, and people are coming in and out.
We-
Yeah,
Well,
we were parked
people are going
outside,
in. Very few people are
and
coming out.
Delilah
Like
and Sid went over to the
nighttime,
Red
isn't it?
Cross. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we
and
went to the Red
Delilah
Cross.
stocked
Yes.
her kit
Yep.
with a bunch of herbs, and then
Thank
the
you.
one guy came over and did some weird mystical shit
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that shit.
Yeah.
And now
gave,
it's
like,
The
like
mystery letters.
and gave like a note. Yeah, gave it like letters to Verite and
Stefano.
Stefano. I think.
Stefano and Verite, and I think you.
No, he
because-
smeared some gunk on my face,
oh yeah, that's right, to like help with the headache or
Yep.
and
something.
it kind of
It
did.
kind of nearly almost did. Yeah. Mhm.
So it's still like dark.
Yes, that's
Right.
right. Yeah, that's what I'm sorry. I got the timing wrong. It's evening. Yeah, it's now getting. It's
Mm.
that the sun is just setting, sort of evening time.
Okay.
Artemis is strongly debating pulling out her gun and shooting Mazephyr. They're shooting off the fireworks.
Yep.
Ugh.
She's
Take
like,
aim at
you
one of
kn-
the batteries on the rampart.
I'm
she's
just-
like, you know,
yeah.
I
Right
could. I'm
here.
this
I keep
close.
doing my one part of my head keeps doing the logistics, like what would it require to fire off 24 hours a day fireworks at so many rounds per minute, and it's like, just stop. There's no way in the real world. There's no way anybody could supply that many fireworks. But shush, dragons. That's all I got to say. There's none here but shush.
Dragons.
Yes,
Reagan.
but that's what you're looking at.
All we're saying.
Mhm.
All I'm saying is that Artemis is contemplating, mostly not seriously, murder,
Yes, yes.
which I think is fair at this
Mostly
juncture.
not seriously.
She is 90% joking.
Delilah is going to.
So you're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance.
Delilah's gonna go up to Sid and say, "You really want to go in?"
Well, we need supplies for the road. I mean, man does not live on tea alone.
If only. Do we go in now or do we wait?
I think it's best if we wait. I don't want to be in this place at night, you know. It has a bad feeling.
Second that.
This place has given up a heavy Vegas airport vibe. Like, you can tell who's coming and who's going. The ones that have
yeah, you
managed
did
to
mention
leave
that
are
last time. Yeah.
finished. Yeah, they look thrashed.
Yeah.
Even their palate has changed.
So
All they want is sugar and salt.
Very much feels like the Twilight Zone almost. Probably.
Mhm.
Delilah is going to take her tea pouch and make cups of tea for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And thinking about it, like, did we take rations with us or anything?
I had my take on food. Nobody would be stupid enough to go out anywhere without taking enough food. So unless I knock you off course by weeks, that doesn't become an issue. So yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I imagine at the very least
Okay.
we left the
You're in-
mansion with something.
You're in Italy.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Not to mention you're in Italy. There's been olive orchards. There's been everything. Olives
Gotcha.
grow. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Olives are a big
Yeah.
thing in Italy.
Live food. Yeah. Live food on the side of the roads. It's just like apples, the whole bit. So yeah, food's not an issue here.
Okay. So I think okay. High, she knows how to cook. Low, she doesn't. She does not know how to cook.
Okay.
I think she's going to take some of the the fruit and the vegetables.
Yep.
And she's gonna sterilize her knife in the fire, and then she's going to just chop them up. She knows she can't cook. She's not gonna pretend
Yep.
to cook this stuff.
But a nice,
But
healthy fruit
she
and
just
veg.
kind of
Yeah.
spreads it on a I don't know, a wood board or something that they
Oh, yeah.
have that
Yep.
they use as plates.
Charcuterie complete.
Hmm. And some dried meat and stuff.
Yep.
And she's gonna say, "Dinner's ready." Sorry, it's not more.
Sid kind of
Thanks.
shrugs.
And Artemis still glaring at the mysterious people on the
Yeah.
on the ramparts of this town.
From beneath her
Um,
fortress of pillows and
Twang.
blankets and plushies.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
She'll take a smaller plank and put some food on it and hand it to Artemis along with a thermos of the tea. And she, I guess, probably won't be as presumptuous with Sid, just because I don't know, Sid seems very particular about things.
Yep.
And then she's just gonna take her portion and kind of sit on the edge of the campsite.
Yep.
Kind of back to the fire.
I think Sid's hands would start to get a little idle after a while, so while he's in between sips of tea, he's fussing with the car.
Sure. Yeah.
Because there's always one or three more things that need to be repaired.
Mm-hmm. As you're doing that, you realize the boys are gone. Because normally, as soon as you touch the car, at least Verite is there.
Yeah, because they were playing 5.
They were playing 5x5
Tic-tac,
tic-tac-toe.
tic-tac-toe.
Yeah, you look down,
Yeah.
there's a half-finished game on the ground, scratched in the dirt, and the two of them are gone.
Do I see any tracks?
Yeah, they headed towards the city. Once they get out on the road, it's impossible to tell because tire tracks and people moving. But yeah, you can see they just stood up and walked off out onto the main road heading towards the fair.
Sid, he stands there, and I think if Delilah or Artemis were to look, he'd be staring at the city, following their steps. Just
Yep.
I mean,
watching.
Artemis
You
is
cannot, you
in
cannot
right
see
there.
them. Yeah,
in the trench of the car, in between the
Yeah.
back and front seats. So
Yeah.
she is
Yeah,
right
so-
there.
yeah.
Yeah, and so you can also hear him grumbling.
You can see people on the road walking, and you can see, the camps on both sides of the road, but nobody moving up and down that road is the boys.
Are you also plotting assassination of the fireworks handlers, or is this something else?
We're going to have to go in regardless. The boys went in.
What?
At that, Delilah turns and goes, "I'm sorry, what?"
And Artemis will turn around and see that they're not there. And she's still got that stuff like kind of like she kind of rubbed at it, but it's
Yeah.
still kind of smeared on
Oh
her
yeah.
forehead.
Yeah, it's like they use
it's like this
pine
black,
tar. Yeah.
like goo.
Delilah like
No.
downs the rest of her tea, puts her plate down, stands up, and she's like, "Is it too much to ask to like have one night that's just a night?"
Well, we weren't going to get that here with all this racket anyway.
Like, couldn't they have waited till tomorrow?
Because they're them.
And Sid's like, I wonder what Verite saw that got him so distracted. Because I bet you it was him.
Yeah,
He sees
Stefano
something
probably went to
technological
make
that's
sure
not
that
fixed
Verite
right.
didn't-
And Stefano followed.
to make sure that Verite didn't get killed. All right,
Question is,
rescue
do we take
mission
the car?
into the city. That's a bad idea.
They shouldn't go into the city, but we also don't know if they should leave it.
We
I've got an idea. Hold on.
Can we fight?
And he puts his
the
his
wheels
teacup
off.
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
He puts
Put it up on blocks.
he,
Give it a boot.
puts his teacup down. He walks over to the Knight's Hospitalier,
Yes.
and he's like, "Our friends went into the city. We were going to wait until morning, but we don't have a choice now. Would you be so kind as to keep an eye on our vehicle while we're inside?"
Oh, most assuredly, sir. There was the standard fee, of course.
He thinks for a second.
15 grams of copper, sir. For the
Perfect.
greater good, for healing, sir. You know how it is.
Yeah. Of course. A donation to the church.
That's it precisely,
Yeah.
sir.
He rolls out you see him, he puts his hand into his pocket, and you can see him kind of spooling out the wire with his thumb.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Spooling it out with his thumb.
you would know. Yep.
And then breaks it off with a clip.
The cool thing
There you
with
go.
copper is, you don't even need to.
Yeah.
If you bend it back and forth rapidly, it heats
That's
up, and then
true.
you let it cool, and you do it again, and it snaps. It's really yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he bends him off 15 grams worth.
And he sort
Because
of,
it's Sid. He's been working with it long enough.
Oh,
that
yeah.
He
no
knows the
question.
feel.
Yeah. He wraps it sort of as a ring around his finger, and says, "Well, all right then. So if you're not back in 2 days, we can keep it."
And he just like he
Three,
just sort of smiles
three,
like,
3 days.
if you can figure it out. If you can figure it out.
Oh, it doesn't blow up, does it, sir?
He thinks
That
about it. It's
you
like,
know of.
If you mishandle it.
There's a spring in that thing about this big around that is large enough to move it and all of you at 30 kilometers an hour up a hill. Yeah,
It could definitely explode.
If that goes
Under a lot of
sprawling-
tension.
yeah, if that thing
They do it
yeah.
badly.
it's
Mm.
like, if you use it wrong, yes, it will cause quite a mess. But we'll be back before then.
Yes, of course you will. Everybody says that. All right.
Besides, good luck finding the pedals with all the plushies we have in there now.
So the three of you
It's
head
like a
off for
claw
town.
machine without the claws, just
Yeah,
mountain.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, Artemis will grab her bag.
Yeah.
And she's got her gun on her, but promises not to use it unless it's absolutely necessary.
Sid's got his duffel bag with his apron in it. Because
Delilah's got her med kit.
Yeah.
And we
You
learned
s-
last time not to mention Florence because there was a very bad reaction to
Yeah.
mentioning Florence.
Florence is full of creepy people.
Yeah.
But yes, as you get closer and closer, you realize the groups on the side of the road, the inbound side, it's about 50-50, actually sort of tourists or people going to the fair, and about 50% people who are either selling food or drink or things or whatever. It's about 50-50 mix. On the way out, it's about the same. but it's all empty carts. Like nobody's leaving with a single item left on their cart. The ones that were selling stuff, they've even sold the signage. I mean, everything is just gone. They're coming home with
Everything must go.
yeah, exactly. 27th annual final going out of business sale. That level of
The
gone.
reels this time.
Yes.
I got the promotional sign from McDonald's
Yeah.
for this one thing.
Yeah. As you get closer and closer to the fair, you can smell and hear it more, but the smell it's past like the smell of popcorn, and now you smell the grease it's cooked in. It's past the smell of those tiny donuts, and you smell the grease it's cooked in. It's past the smell of candied what is that called? Cotton candy. That's it. It's past the smell of that, and all you can smell is burnt
Candy
sugar.
floss.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what you
Who's
call it.
burning cotton candy? Fuck that.
How bad are you at making cotton candy?
It's
How
like
do you-
1100 AD. How the hell are they doing it at all? But
As that
sorry,
kind
it's
of
a
happens,
technology
Artemis has to
equivalent.
Take
Yeah.
a moment.
Yeah. So yeah, all of that. It's one of those ones that you've walked past the pretty part of the smell, and now you're smelling the guts of this place, right?
Mm.
It's like a bar with the lights on. It stinks and it's
There's a pretty
dirty,
part of the smell?
and yeah, the ground isn't all dirt. A lot of it's just ground down wrappers and
Oh.
food, and just it's
Layers and layers of chewed and spat out gum.
oh yes, yep.
I bet the
It
ground
actually
is
it goes
sticky.
up a little bit at the door, right?
Oh.
It's almost a step going into this place.
Caramel corn and jelly beans.
But just before you get to the point where you're going to be able to really see in, two familiar figures stumble out through the door, laughing their asses off and running slightly and looking over their shoulders. Between the two of them, you can only recognize them because you know their legs really well, because they both just got huge armloads of stuffies, and they're kind of running blind. I don't know if you ever saw the video of the bulldog with the bucket on that he puts on his own, or the box he puts on his own head and then runs around and runs into stuff because it's
Mhm.
fun. This looks like that. They just come out, just bang, bang, bouncing off people, bouncing off the sides of the road, giggling, laughing, little snakes and stuff, plushies falling off behind them. As those pieces fall off behind them, it's like piranhas. The people on the sides of the road in these camps are just like, and they're gone. You see a group of about 4 of them that have just left the city, kind of doing the hey thing, and the 4 of them start moving towards the boys, who are totally
Towards the
unaware.
boys, not the fallen ones, but the boys.
No, they're actually they're heading to the boys because there was a couple that fell, but they've got 50 or 60 each.
If
I'm
you
gonna,
think that's crazy, you should see our car.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all clock that?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
I think Sid's
don't-
response would be to start like following in step behind those 4 kids,
Okay.
whoever they are.
Yeah, depending on
just-
where we are in the trajectory
it's
of
like-
the two.
Losers.
It's that meme
I
with,
think
with
is
the one person in the pew and the person behind them with a gun, person behind them with a gun,
yeah.
person behind them with a sniper rifle. Yeah, that's me.
Mhm. Okay, that's
I
what
think
Sid,
I'm
Delilah-
Sid's
with a
gonna.
sniper rifle, excuse you.
Okay, that's Sid.
Delilah was gonna like nudge Sid to be like, hey, maybe do something. But then Sid just went and did something. So
Yeah, I think his response
Heading off into the
would be a-
darkness with his hammer going thump 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 thump. Yeah.
Sid's response would have been like a nod and
Gone. Yeah.
I'm on it.
yeah. Delilah actually. Have we had like 5 minutes to sort of
Yep.
rest and stuff?
You've had 5
Okay.
minutes. You haven't had a full night, but you've had 5 minutes.
Okay. Oh, I have to discard one, don't I?
Let's
pull
do
the
it.
rest-
I was just
pull
going to
the
say
other
you've actually had
ones?
considerably more than 5 minutes because you didn't do anything real strenuous today. It was just travel. So I'm willing to let you redraw up to your full hand without having to throw anything away. Although if
Oh,
you've got
okay.
if you have a shitty card, it's a nice way to get rid of it.
No, I don't have.
If they're
any
all good, if they're all
cards
good,
right
then
now.
yeah, just drop to 6 or whatever. Yeah, that's your hand, right?
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm still
6.
holding on to my cool king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that got played, so
Um,
you get to put it in discard, but you're still playing.
I
it
guess
out.
technically I pulled it, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're playing all
Yeah.
the you're
As
playing it
in-
out now. So
Yeah.
on
So
something.
Delilah. Let's go to Artemis. 'Cause I don't know what Delilah
Okay.
would do.
Okay. Artemis,
Okay, so the boys
You're-
are leaving.
your pulse is kind of this close. Like your pulse is kind of synced up with the fireworks, but the fireworks are doing about 800 beats a minute. So it's like fibrillation. Yeah.
Yeah.
In your brain.
Yeah.
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 You can
And
feel
so
her
the boys are
heartbeat in her
leaving.
eyeballs.
Yeah.
How
The boys
there's
leaving
4 of these
town.
guys
Yep.
that are going towards them.
Like they look like just losers, like 4 guys that just went for a weekend in Vegas and they've all lost their house and don't want to go home and tell their wives.
How far in front of us are they?
For this, say the boys are. I'm just going to make meters and yards the same, basically. So when I say meters, here yards. They're about 50 yards away. It's about 30 yards away from behind that, where those guys are starting to step out onto the road now, and you see Sid sort of passing behind the camper vans and shit, doing the big flanking maneuver.
Can she try and move in front of the 4 guys?
And just walk past the boys and then step in there.
Yeah, kind of just
So the
like
4
put a
guy?
barrier, be between Verite and Stefano and these guys where Sid is
Absolutely.
behind.
Yep. Okay. so we
Because
got
she's angry enough and in pain enough to
Yep.
just not have it.
Perfect. All right. So from where you're standing, Delilah, there's what's you can see what's going to happen. It's going to be the boys, then Artemis, then the bad guys, then Sid.
Okay. Delilah can see that they're the 2 more combative without Coas being here.
Yeah.
And honestly, like
Artemis has been
Artemis
threatening to
ha-
shoot
Artemis-
Sid since yesterday. So
I
yes.
was-
Yeah.
I was-
Yeah.
Artemis has a gun and Sid is Sid.
Yep.
So Delilah actually gets this insane notion that she cannot identify the reason behind,
Okay.
but she hangs back, waiting till they're all in front of her, walking away from the city.
Mm-hmm.
And she walks behind Sid a little bit to try and like.
Oh, you're gonna go all the way around there. Okay.
Well, like she's letting them get past her.
Well, they're
And
they're
then
not gonna go.
walking-
They're not gonna go past you because they're just going to the camp, which is where you guys are. They're just coming back
Oh,
to
that's
you.
right. We're
Yeah.
at the camp.
Yep.
No,
But we
because
were
we
walking
walked up. We
towards-
walked up
Oh
towards
no,
the
pardon,
door.
pardon me. Yes, you're absolutely right. So yeah, you're just gonna let them walk past it. Sorry, I
Yeah.
lost my own plot. That's not good. All right.
And then she's gonna walk a couple steps behind Sid to make him think that she's behind him.
Yep.
Until her footsteps get lost in the footsteps of everyone else that's going to and from, and then she's gonna drift back and go into the city.
Okay. Let's deal with the 2 that stayed then. Artemis, as you get close, you hear the 2, the lads, and all you hear is because their faces are just, they're talking into a wall of stuffies, right? They kind of bump into each other, and a handful fall away from Stefano's pile, and he can actually see you now. You can see his head sticking up, and he says, "Artemis, this is what they use for money here," he yells at the top of his lungs.
Did you trade in your common sense for those?
"No, I set up a crooked game." And a couple more fall away, and then Verite walks into the back of him, sort of, "Poof. Why are we stopping?"
I suggest you get into the car.
You see the 2 of them, yeah, they're here. You see the 4 guys coming up behind them, and they're starting to, like, they haven't got weapons, but they're starting, you can see they're hyping themselves up. They're going to at least, there's a lot laying on the ground now between the 2 ones that the 2 of them have dropped. They're at least going to go for a grab of the stuff around the boys' feet.
Why don't you two go into the car?
We're rich.
Go
Says
into the
Stefano.
car,
And
Stefano.
drunk, and he stumbles off towards the car, dropping a couple more. Verite following along behind him. There's now a trail of money on the ground from you to the car. The four guys, as the two of them walk past, look up at you, look down at your pistol, your crossbow,
It's a rifle.
or rifle. Yeah, 50-50.
Sid from behind them. Take what's on the ground. Make your way.
Done. Deal. Done. Deal. Shake. And he tries to put his hand up behind you to shake your hand.
Just go.
He taps it with the
The
forehammer.
hammer.
Okay. Yep. And yeah, there's a fair amount on the ground. They the four of them scoop it up, and you see them like stuffing it under their shirts and running away. But even then, people are giving them, again, almost entirely the people heading out of town are giving them the look, like, hey, if I had that, I could go back in. There is one on the way into town. It's just one guy camped by himself. Until now, he's been all but invisible. It's just him and a horse. No stuff to sell. No, he's not. He's not a group of friends. And you see him sort of look over and clock where those guys go to sleep, and then kick his feet up by his fire. There's a professional thief that's just figured out where they're parked, so to speak. But yeah, the boys get back to the thing, and by the time you get back there, Artemis and Sid and Delilah, now you close up behind them. I'm
No,
presuming?
Delilah went into the city.
Oh no,
No,
Delilah.
Delilah
No,
went
sorry,
to
I
the
keep forgetting
city.
that. Yes. So yes, Sid, as you close up, the two of you get back. They've tried to throw their stuffies into the car, but there's already so many that they're tumbled all over the place. So now the car really does look like one of those grabby games with the hook, with
the
the claw.
games.
Yeah, without any of the glass, right? It's all falling out all over the place. People are starting to look.
This doesn't
and-
look good.
And yeah, Stefano spins around again. I don't know if you guys heard me, but they count this as money. There's like one of these is 5 of these is worth one of these, and he's got like a little snake and a turtle. You can see there's size differences. They're basically 5 of these to get one of these, 2 of these to get one of those, and 2 of those to get one of those. So if you want to think of them as the smallest ones, the snakes has 1s, they're 1s, 5s, 10s, and 20s, basically. And people are
Where's Delilah?
we're gonna get to Delilah.
I know, but she's just realizing that Delilah is
the
not
two of you are
there.
like, oh shit. You see her walk through the gate. Or sorry, I don't
No,
want
we
to.
probably didn't.
You see her get to the gate in the distance in the dark. I'm not gonna have her walk in until I tell her what she saw. But
Yeah. Sid sighs, looks to Artemis. It's like,
well, the gate's a long way away now too, because you guys get back to the gate.
Yeah.
looks. What do you think the chances she went inside?
Well, where else would she go?
Yeah.
Why don't you take these 2 chuckleheads and the car somewhere less likely to be ripped to pieces? And I'll go see if I can find Delilah.
Stefano looks pretty impaired, but he kind of looks at the cars. We're thousandaires.
God damn that guy.
I'll take care of the drunks.
Thanks.
You rescue the doctor.
Yes, and I'll try not to kill anyone on my way in.
Be nice.
I'll try.
All right, you lot. Get the ropes.
What? We're thousandaires. We don't have to work anymore. Ah! Verite's getting ropes.
Leans
Unpaid
down.
intern.
Leans
Yeah.
down. It's like, unpaid intern. Get to work.
Hey, Verite, he just took all my toys. And he gets to tying it all down. You're trying to get them to secure it all in the car, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Mhm.
In a obvious like visual attempt to anyone around that this is our stuff. You mess with it,
Mhm.
don't.
Yep. There's some people
around and find
looking.
out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some folks that are right at the edge of fuck around and find out range. They're trying to figure out if they could take the three of you
Yeah.
at this moment.
Keep in mind, Sid's still wearing the tank top with his full biceps.
Oh yeah,
You know,
Also,
those-
the people around them have probably heard Artemis talking about killing the guy.
yep, yeah.
at the
You are gone at
fireworks
the
for
moment.
the last
but-
couple hours, but she
Yep.
was saying it
Yep.
earlier.
Mhm. And Sid's armed.
Mhm.
Verite kind of has
Armed
one
and
of his moments where he looks around and kind of danger goes off in his head,
Mhm.
and without asking or questioning anybody, he says in a very loud, obvious voice, "Good thing everything's rigged to explode if you don't know the password." And he's tying a knot at that point, so he's not quite sure how knots have passwords, but you know he's trying to lie.
Mhm.
One more
think
thing
it-
out of Sid before we go.
Yeah. I think Sid's actually contemplating moving the vehicle over to the Knights. Like,
The leaving side? Yeah.
um,
Oh, to the Knights Hospitaller. Okay, yeah.
yeah, because for starters, safety in numbers. Second of
Yep.
all, we've already paid these guys to help. look
Yes,
after
you
it.
have. Yep. Yes, you
And
And
have.
also, maybe you can hide it a little bit behind.
Yeah, because in my head, they're in kind of a bit of a copse of
Yep.
trees
Yep.
as opposed to ours. In my head, I'm seeing BC Parks.
Yeah.
So
The little
flat
turnaround at the
gravel
end.
pad
Yeah.
with the
Yeah. Absolutely.
wood.
You can absolutely go over there.
Yeah.
As you get over there, the three of you get in that sort of little section with them. It's starting to get a little circle the wagons in here,
Mhm.
because the Knights have a fairly big fire because there's a lot of them, but you could see right at the edge of that fire there's a lot of like human eyeballs looking in and
Mhm.
building up around you after all your thousand heirs.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going to leave you, because I got a thing. I want to think, but I'm not going to think right now. Delilah,
Mm-hmm.
you get closer and closer. It's like walking under a weird canopy. Like the fireworks are almost like exploding treetops now. The sound is you're so used to it. It's still there all the time, but you haven't blanked it out because it's too loud, but you just kind of processed it and you filtered it. That's the word I'm looking for. It's kind of filtered out. So it's like these psychedelic flashing trees above you. As you get to the gate, it's almost like you're looking inside a room or a building, because there's this fog that hangs there from all the fireworks smoke and the stinky, smoky torches that are coated in tallow that are burning to make light. It's absolutely a fair. Every single surface. There's not a house in here that hasn't been turned into a ride or an amusement park or a booth. Every square meter, the roads are the only part that are open, and even there people are miming and juggling and doing everything. It's intense, and it's all under this sort of smoky lid.
This feels kind of it's like a weird oblivion
Yep.
to her,
Yeah.
and
You could go in here and never come out. You could go in here and play stupid, mindless games and never come out. Nobody
He
would
walks
hold
in.
you accountable for anything, and you walk in. It's almost, I mean, they don't, but it's almost like the doors close behind you. This place is unconsciously so well designed that it's like a casino. It's like you can't find the way out. It's just, you immediately feel like you're surrounded by people that are just bombarding you. Come over here, come over here. Here, knock down the pins. Here, come over here and ride this ride. Look, we've got unicorns. And it's a horse with a thing clearly stuck to its forehead. Right? I mean, weird, it's an actual horse. You didn't think there were many of those left. But other than that, you know, it's a fair
Sure.
and it's weird, but it's just, it's dark and dirty and stinky and underground, but everybody's got that big fake grin. I forget what video game it was. You had to keep taking the pills to keep smiling.
We have
Oh,
a few.
we
yeah.
have- Happy
We,
Few.
we happy few. Yeah, it's like that. Everybody's just walking around.
I'll take your joy.
hmm
Like the Joker's like
His
big
toxic.
smile thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
Yeah.
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 I think she wants to find something mindless.
Yeah.
But that will, what's the word I'm looking for? Occupy her.
Okay. There's all kinds of carnival games. There's food. There's rides. What do
Is
you
there
wanna do?
like a hall of mirrors or
Oh,
like
yes.
a fun house?
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. It's a
So,
combination,
I
if this is okay, a combination sort of House of Mirrors, fun house, horror house, all in one.
Okay.
Because the owner is trying to attract a wide crowd.
Cover all your bases.
Jack of all houses.
What might be the weirdest thing about this is as you approach, you see people paying to get in with fuzzy snakes and fuzzy turtles and stuffies. It's money in here.
Okay.
Every once
I
in a
mean,
while,
she clocks that obviously.
there are little booths that say tickets here and there spread around.
She's gonna pat her pockets, wondering how much she actually has on her. Probably like
Enough.
enough.
Yeah.
Okay. She's gonna go to one of the ticket booths and
Yeah.
she's gonna all her money.
All of your current copper on hand?
I mean, she doesn't keep all of her copper on
No.
her,
Yeah. Okay.
but like, if she
All
has
of
like
her
a
pocket
20
change.
on
Yeah.
her, yeah,
Yeah.
like her pocket change, just
Okay.
all stuffies.
Okay. So you get make it easy here. You get one big one, same size as the wolf that you guys had
Okay.
in the car. This particular one is a unicorn, but it's apparently based on the horse because the horn is stitched onto a horse. Stuffy. So yeah, and a whole bunch of like sort of half that size ones, and then a bunch of fivers as well. But you get a
Okay.
big pile. Yeah, you're gonna have to sort
Okay.
of
Like a matryoshka of
yeah
unicorn.
basically yeah. Except they're all stuffy, so you have to carry them. You can't stuff them inside each other.
Yeah. She kind of she does a thing where like she carries them like that
Yep.
on the sides. And I think she starts to spend them on like little frivolous games first, like she does one of those like squirt gun games, and then
Yep.
she'll
It's fixed,
and
like really
of
obviously.
course.
It's where it's
Of
off to the
course.
side. Yeah.
She honestly doesn't really care.
Yeah.
And then she goes and does one of those like ring toss games.
Yep. That one's
and
fixed
then
too.
she'll of
Yep.
course.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
She still doesn't care.
Yeah.
And she finds as she's getting down to the last of her little stuffies,
Yeah.
she finds those games where you put the rubber frog on the catapult and then you hit it as hard as you can and you get them on the lily pads.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
I love those games, by the way. She's gonna find one of those.
Yep.
And she's gonna like kind of gauge where she's hitting and everything and how hard she has to hit to like get it to the lily pad she wants it to get to and stuff,
Absolutely.
and like
Use your engineering
mathematically-
skills.
yeah,
Mhm.
mathematically she knows all of the trajectories and
Yep.
and accelerations and stuff.
Yep.
and then she's looking at the like impact plate for where
Yep.
she has to hit, and is holding this hammer, and I think it starts to shake a little bit in her hand,
Yep.
and she just does a Sid and just wham, and I think the frog flies like 3 booths down.
Absolutely. Just bang, gone. The guy looks like, oh, this happens all the time, pulls out another frog, puts it on the thing. Looks up at you. Care to try again?
Oh, I got a frog.
Yeah. Would you care to try again? And Artemis, that's when you walk up and you can see Delilah. Is it fair to say you're sort of
I was able to catch up with her.
at that point? Yeah. Well, so
Okay.
you kind of followed in her wake up until now.
I feel like of all the people, like this place does not enchant Artemis
No,
just because
this
of the
is
sheer fact of
hideous.
the,
Yeah.
it's a hellscape. She said it in the last episode. Like
Yeah.
this place is hell.
You
She hates it.
you voluntarily walked into a migraine with a migraine, right? I mean, yeah.
I mean, I did not say that Delilah is enjoying any of
No,
Oh no, that's
absolutely not.
fair.
No.
I just, if it's
So
meant
you're-
to like entrance the senses, there's
Ah,
nothing in
yeah.
here
Yeah.
that Artemis likes.
So instead of that
No.
Artemis, you're just like in this pain ball, and
Dodging the worst things.
yeah, just around the different people and the sounds, and then you say, "I know that figure," and you take a couple steps closer. It's like Delilah, I go, right, and it's because you know them, right? Yeah, and at that moment, you see them try and kill the frog, and you step up. To
Wham.
them. Yeah. So Delilah, when they step up, you said you were shaking. Are you still shaking? Are you pasty? Like, what do they see?
She's definitely got like a cold sweat starting to form.
Yep.
Like something has triggered flashbacks that she's trying to push down. And I think she's like white knuckle gripping this hammer.
Yeah.
And she's just like, put another frog on.
Okay.
Hit me.
Bam.
Frog me.
Like, honestly, as long as he will keep giving her frogs, she is launching frogs.
The second one, he like, because you fire at the one, he puts another one down. This happens all the time. It's like, you give me more money, you give him more money, and a spang, you send off a second one. He realizes what you're doing. He starts bringing up ratty, shitty old frogs and putting them on.
She doesn't care.
Yeah, because you're not putting them in the bin anyway. So yeah, you just ding, ding. Yeah, you're launching them. He's still turning a profit on you.
That's fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Delilah got like a lot of stuffies. So,
Yeah.
I think she's down to like her last $5 stuffy.
Yep.
That gets her like 3 frogs.
Yep.
And she puts all 3 frogs on the catapult
Yeah.
and just takes a step back to like really get a swing, and just boom, and like frogs everywhere. And she's like, I think, hold on, I'm gonna roll for I think it's
No real frogs. They're beanie frogs. Beanie frogs. Yeah.
Well, they're comedically invincible.
Yeah. Yes, that's true.
It's like Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
she hits it so hard. I feel like it's kind of a shoddily put
Oh, yes.
together
Yep.
mechanism.
Yep.
So she doesn't like break it, but something does fly off of it.
Absolutely.
It has to be fixed.
And then, yeah, so you bang, and the plate just spins off because you hit it off center and just breaks off the little post. 2 of the frogs fly off into the distance. The third one goes and lands right in the tiny little cup right in the middle. The tiniest of the lily pads right in the middle of the thing. The guy looks over and he just loses his cool for a second. He just, well, fuck. And Artemis, that's when you walk up.
I don't think she clocks you until you like say
Yeah.
something, because she's
Yeah.
just like kind of breathing heavily, just like staring at that frog in the center.
Mm-hmm.
Did the frogs say something bad to you, Delilah?
She's gonna jump and be like, "Oh God, no. Um, I just was playing a game, and I guess I did something good." And the guy comes back with like
And
a giant
here's
stuffy
your
or something.
prize. And he comes back with, you haven't even seen anything this size. Like he had to go into his wagon to get it. It's a huge rainbow colored dragon. It's made out of all the bits and pieces of
Yes.
cloth that they made all the other ones out of. So it's all the leftover bits. It's like a big
What's
patchwork
patchwork?
dragon. Yep.
Oh my
The
God.
fangs are all sparkly and like, but they go the, they're, it looks like kids put it together, but it's huge.
my
He like this
God.
guy's like this big and he's dragging it like a brontosaurus around the middle. And he thumps it up on the counter and he says, "Congratulations, we've only ever given away one of these before." And there's kind of a bubble of silence as you can hear every neck in the region go. It's like you're standing at the payout window in Vegas while they're counting out, clusters of hundreds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Delilah's like, she puts the hammer in Artemis's hand
Yeah.
and goes, "You should play this game."
You just what?
It's a really good game. And then she just like lets go of the hammer and
Yeah.
like you have the hammer
Mhm.
and she's going to she's going to take her giant stuffy
Yep.
and kind of hold it off to the side and be like, "I don't know how I feel about this place. It's like so much. It's everything, and then it's
A hellscape.
nothing. It's everything, and then it's nothing." And she's like lost in that concept of like how something can become so overwhelmingly sensorial
Mm-hmm.
that she has shut down.
That is the opposite of everything you've ever you're all about the logic and reasoning, and this place is just about make your guts feel good, right? It's just pure hedonism, right?
Yeah,
Shit.
Artemis will hand the hammer back to the guy, like kind of trying to stay close to Delilah.
Yep. You hear the guy muttering, "Never use the old frogs, my dad said. The stick in their backs broke," he said. "They'll go right in the hole," he fucking said. "Fuck you, Dad." He's fishing the old frog out of the center lily pad.
Before she
Well,
leaves, she'll look to this guy and be like, "Do you happen to know whose smart idea it was of the all constant, mind-numbingly horrible fireworks?
The what now?
Whose idea was it to shoot off fireworks at
There's-
every single incessant moment?"
There's fireworks? Oh! Yeah, right, those. When you live with something for a long time, It's like living next to mountains. Eventually you go, "Yeah, mountains, okay."
Whose bright idea was it?
Lila walks away.
The Fairmeister?
Never mind. Have a good night, Delilah.
No, she's Delilah doesn't like
Now Delilah's easy to track. She's got a giant stump.
yeah,
Follow
like
the skid mark.
yeah, Delilah's not hard to track anymore, but
There's also again one of these sort of crowds that's sort of moving with you.
Mhm.
Delilah, though, like for a second you see people are tracking you, right? But then you realize in a split second they're terrified. They're absolutely terrified of you. There's something about the way you're walking that just says,
Oh yeah, no.
I
Delilah's
give no fucks, right?
unhinged.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Delilah,
He's
Delilah
murder
has
walking.
become
Looking- oh, yeah.
unhinged.
Looking for a fight
Like,
kind of walk. Yeah.
This
Plus, you're
isn't.
being
This
followed
isn't.
by someone who has active murder in her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like this isn't. Delilah's not having fun. This
Yeah.
isn't fun.
Yes.
This is. This is. She's dissociating
Oh yeah.
to an extreme degree right now.
Yep.
She something I don't know if you clocked it when she just walked the fuck away.
Yeah.
From the line that the boys were in, but so she's like something weirdly snapped.
Yep.
And so she is not taking directive from anyone but her whim.
404 purpose not found. Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
for real though, that's 404 nothing found.
So
It's a
Um,
memory leak. She's
with-
just running and not doing anything.
yeah. So with that, I'm going to presume the sort of the lizard brain is screaming safe place, safe place, safe place. So back to
Yeah.
the cart.
But no,
Okay.
because the cart represents reality to
Ah,
her.
gotcha. Okay.
She
Escape. She wants an escape.
yeah, she wants an escape. She wants somewhere to run away. So I think what she tries to find is like the back of a house or like
oh. The section of the fair that nobody's supposed to go to, like the
Staff
staff
area?
the staff area. Thank you. Yeah, I'm stealing this absolutely from yeah. And it's not really. It's more like a staff cafeteria because everybody here is the fair, right? There's nobody here who does anything else. But
I
there
think
are
it's-
places where the public don't go, or is it something other than that? You tell me.
I think it's more like just a space between game booths.
Between booths.
Like,
Okay. Yeah.
Between like where like almost like a side alley.
Yep.
But it's
A liminal
not like
space.
Yes.
a little space.
A liminal
Yeah.
space. Yeah.
A
But yeah, when
liminal
you get into it,
space.
the dragon sort of comes in and fills the gap behind you and sort of giving you this privacy. Artemis, all you see is Delilah go in, the dragon go in, and appear to get stuck when Delilah stops moving.
Squeaky.
Delilah,
Instead of a rattlesnake tail, it's got a whole row of squeakies.
I think at this point she has, because before Artemis found her, she was working her way around, and I think she did everything she wanted to do in terms of basically whatever she stumbled upon.
Yeah.
And she now finds this corner, and she's kind of faced with she has her big $20 stuffy and her big like what $100 stuffy.
Yep. That's what I have written
Um,
down, yeah.
And they've formed a wall
Yep.
between her and the rest of the fair.
Hmm.
And Delilah sits down. She just sits down on the ground and just like goes numb in this cacophony of insanity.
Yep. I just wrote down fugues out. Just
Basically.
gone. Okay.
Basically.
Artemis, you see them go into the gap, the dragon stops moving.
Yeah, she will
People are looking at the dragon.
beat off anybody still kind of straggling around with the
Yep.
proverbial stick, not actually hurting anybody, but be like, hey,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
being very like, you don't
Yep.
don't mess with me.
Yeah. These aren't bad people. These are fair goers. So yeah.
No, it's
Dragon
just, she's-
butthole filling up the door.
but like her just being like, this, you can't get an easy this is not an easy thing.
Yep.
She's got backup.
So you're just going
Um,
protect mode.
Yeah, and I think she could tell something was going on with Delilah when she walked up. I think she, even with everything else going on, was like kind of single focused in finding Delilah.
Yep.
So she was kind of keyed into it a little bit, and obviously she was acting strange. She usually doesn't just walk off.
Mhm.
She's not like the rest of us.
This
She's
is
not
not-
stupid.
This is not Delilah's typical risk reward.
Sid also
payoff-
doesn't walk
payoff
off all
burger,
the
yeah.
time. She's not a Demasi, okay? She's not
Yeah.
stupid like a Demasi. So I think she'll just
Impulsive.
kind of
Let's use the word impulsive. Yeah.
Coas is impulsive, yeah.
Yeah.
Spontaneous.
So Artemis,
Spontaneous.
yeah, you're going to sort of
She
stand guard
will-
then.
kind of stand guard, kind of just sit across from her so that like Delilah, should she look up, would
Yeah.
see her,
Gotcha.
but not necessarily trying to intrude on like this space. She's kind of clearly she's trying to like close herself in, and Artemis gets that. So she's like, I'm not gonna like intrude on that until like maybe it becomes more concerning. But if she needs like a break, or if
Yep.
whatever is going on is processing, like I will give her space, but I'm going to be
Perfect.
here to make sure she doesn't get mugged
Yeah.
or
nobody's
get
nobody's
lost.
touching this dragon. Yeah. Perfect. Excellent. So we'll leave the two of you inside the fair for now. Coas, I want to get you back. So you follow wordlessly because of the sound and noise of the techno fans. You don't have to have the conversation about Fatima. What? You get
Yeah.
back to the mansion. He just, I mean, he takes your advice like he does with everything, 100%. He's just go harding. He's every time he sees one of the girls, he's like, "Hi, what do you like? Hi, do you like? What do you want to go? And he's trying to get to know them, but he's just, I mean, he's 14, right? 14, 15. He hasn't got a clue. So,
Bless his little heart.
but they are now, at least they see him, and they're giggling at him. He's one of them. You even hear the magic phrase. One of them looks at the other one and says, "You know, he's kind of cute."
No. But yes, that's good, but that's gonna play
One
as
of
he goes
one
on.
of the younger ones, and they mean it as a friend because we have clearly disturbed that he's 15. You know what I mean, though. Like they see him now
He's
as a
getting older.
person. Yeah, he's just trying to get
He's
him
aged
legal.
3 years.
I want
It's
him
more and more
legal by the time of this
uncomfortable
episode.
with him being a 13-year-old hormonal kid.
Yeah.
He's
He'll
gonna
be
turn
18 by the
yeah,
time
he'll
the
be
week's
18 by
over.
this is done.
Yeah.
He'll be 37 by the time.
Next week, yeah.
He'll be older. He'll be older than Coas.
But you know what I mean, right? He's trying desperately, but at least he understands that he's got to try and teach them, treat them like people.
Yeah, and hopefully with time he dials back a bit.
And
And
Fatima comes out and looks at you and listens to his, and just
I think this is the best that we could have done. I'd rather take this than what he was doing before. So I see this as a win.
let's call it house trained, shall we?
Yeah. Yeah, well, we can call it that.
Okay. Well, thank you. I really thought you were gonna have to shoot him. But
To be honest, you joke, but it's I don't know. I wouldn't to call it easy, but it's a lot simpler than I thought it would be. Sure, he takes a lot of the things out of context and he runs with one single idea at a time, but it's not the hardest thing in the world. I mean,
just so I can run interference, if you will, do you know which of the girls specifically it is that he likes?
well,
Yes.
actually, he likes all of them.
The answer is yes.
He likes all of them. He did mention your name at one point.
Me?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm old enough to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And
Well,
he
that
kind of puts a
ex-
hand on her shoulder. Yeah. Good luck with that.
That explains a lot. Okay.
You might be playing 21 questions with him soon.
No,
He's gonna
no,
ask you about
no,
favorite color,
he's
favorite
no.
dinosaur.
I'm
favorite-
seriously considering moving him to the shed.
Yeah, that might also work.
Anyway, thank you so much for coming. I didn't know, still don't, frankly, know how to deal with him at all. What did you say? One sentence at a time, one idea at a time?
Yeah, one sentence. Let him latch on to one thing at a time. Because if you spew too much at him, he's only ever gonna latch onto one thing. So try to limit the things you say to one thing.
And yet he seems
Make
fairly
report.
smart.
Oh no, he is. He's just not.
But one thing at a time. Like somehow this is a completely new idea to her that men of any age can only really do one thing at a time.
Yeah, he's not a multitasker.
Okay. Well, I see a lot of cleaning in his future.
And a lot actually he wants to do purposely. So especially with
I'm
Lawrence.
sorry you made him want to clean.
not directly. It wasn't like, hey, you should clean this, but
Not
he thinks
directly
that-
means you did. Okay. I don't think I'm qualified, but from now on I'm going to just call you Saint Coas.
No, no.
He's 2 more miracles.
I can't. I'm not gonna accept that. I just
What
don't know,
makes you think I care whether you accept it or not? And all of a sudden there's that other Fatima, the fun is gone.
true. Yeah. All right. I guess I'm Saint Coas. Thanks for calling me about him.
I had no idea what to do. So I told him to contact the person that he respected. He picked you.
It's a bit strange. I'll tell you that.
And
He
yeah. She got
looks up to me, but at the same time, he I don't know. It's weird. I'm not used to this.
Oh no, I guess you wouldn't be. I mean, you've never been a father before. And she kind of turns around and starts walking you, puts her hand between your shoulders, and you
I say more like a big brother. Like I prefer that title more than father.
No, a big brother would have given him horrible advice about women and told him to get drunk.
Did you have any brothers?
To her?
Yeah.
Yes. Before.
Interesting. That's all.
They were little animals too, and they were almost 20.
Alright. Now I should probably go be. Okay, well, father. That wasn't what I never would have thought. You know what? Florence being completely decimated. I would have seen that before, father.
She kind of grins at you and looks and says, "It takes a while to get used to the crown. It's heavier than you'd think."
Well, that's one family connection there. That I need to
And
improve
that
my
hand
other.
that was on your back closes around the back of your neck and turns your head. It's not an option. I'm not even gonna let you make a play. It's just
Yeah.
the woman of steel, the woman who killed her husband in cold blood at the first given opportunity, wants to make sure you're paying attention.
As I said before.
Yeah,
Can you hear that? Did it?
oh yeah, it
register
came
to the
through. Yeah,
mic? Yeah, there you go.
yeah, and she says to you, "You have big things to do. I have little things to do. I'll handle all of this. But if you, for a split second, aggravate that wonderful sister of yours, I will cripple you from the waist up one vertebrae at a time.
Mhm.
So you do understand.
Yes, I do.
All right, then. And she lets you go. Have a nice day, Coes. Have a good ride back. Be safe. I know that thing goes really fast. Here's the card you need to get back to where you guys were.
Yeah, thank you.
Just click. Switch off. Yeah.
Jesus. Stronger than some cops that I know. Or used to know. Yeah, they're all dead. Alright, let's go.
Yeah. Back on the thing and heading back. As you get almost back, you can see on the road, you've been here before, so but you can see there's a group of people, but you're looking at their backs. It's like grade 7 and there's a fight in a schoolyard. There's
Yeah.
all the circle of people around it, and you can hear that muttering and the people getting each other wound up and wound up. Meanwhile, Sid, you and the boys are sitting with the hospitalers. They have gotten up and they're like walking around pretentiously holding their big heavy crosses / hammers. But there's probably 50 or 60 people starting to do that light thing at the edge of the fire, right? Like the pack of wolves, except it's a pack of people.
So they're all surrounding like the campsite.
Yeah. And yeah, Coes, you see that as you come in, and you can see you can see the car. I was gonna say, I'm trying to figure out what you wouldn't know the hospitalers or why it's, you'd have no idea. There's all these trailers, white trailers with red crosses on them. There's the car with a tarp over it and tied down with a bunch of stuff inside it. And there's Sid sort of standing on the running boards in my head, with the big axe, the big hammer in his hand, sort of looking nervous. The boys they figured out something's
Sid, you
wrong,
wouldn't-
but they don't know.
You
Yeah,
wouldn't
so
really
he
see
tells-
that he looks nervous. It's all mustache.
that's true. So you're just standing there,
Yeah.
sort of mind playing
Yeah.
king of the mind, and even the boys know that trouble's up. Like they're kind of, Verity's hands are fiddling. He's building something. Sid, you're close enough to he's building caltrips faster than your fingers can watch. It's just and he's making him throwing him, making him throwing him, making him throwing him. He's building like a caltrip minefield around you guys. He's freaked out.
Sid takes one of the stuffies, tears the stuffing out of it, hands it to Verite. Fill it up. I'm gonna use it to hit the first lot that comes at us.
And
He's-
I'm
Yeah,
assuming I pull up here now.
yeah, not quite,
Okay,
because
go for it.
at that moment, Verite leads that. You meant fill it full of rocks, right? Something like that.
Rocks, caltrops.
Of caltrips. Okay,
Yeah.
so he starts throwing them in, and he starts muttering. Stefano is still. I mean, he's panicked, but he still had a couple drinks. He's like, "I wish we could blow him up." And somebody says, "They're gonna blow us up," and the circle starts to close. They're coming in to stop you and get the stuff because you're gonna blow up the thousands too, right? Because this currency burns. So they're starting to close. Yeah, I want one reaction out of you before we get to Coas.
Sid turns he turns down the torch, so it's just orange flame.
Yeah.
He holds the hammer up and he starts to hold it back, like, back off!
Like you're gonna
Where
light it
all
all
goes
up.
up.
Okay. Coas. You see the torch flare. You see them stop. They don't back up, but there is like a shoulder to shoulder, 4 rows deep ring of vultures waiting for the body to die.
I'm going
And-
to,
You are on a
As-
20-foot long robot dog.
as I'm pulling up with a 24 robot dog for a bit of anonymity factor.
Yep.
Like more, it's more scary to see someone anonymous. I'm gonna put on the gas mask.
Okay.
I'm
Yep.
gonna pull out my
Full Borderlands shit going
iron
on here.
crossbow as I'm riding,
Yeah.
and this is gonna be a big wild. But I'm thinking, and I'm gonna toss up the my lantern that I've got.
Yep.
I just shoot it up in the air as
All right. Throwing
as
it
I'm
up there
coming
is
in.
throwing is easy. Shooting. Give me a shooting skill. Let's
All
make a
right.
play.
Would you call that combat or dexterity?
Let's go with dexterity because it's dexterity based combat. They're trying to shoot something, so
I'm gonna do it again.
Mhm.
I'm gonna do 4 and a 7 both clubs. and I'm
11.
gonna
So
keep the 7,
3
discard the 4.
successes. Yeah. You well, what in that case? What do you want it to do? Like,
As I kind of toss it up,
yeah.
and I'm still riding this with the
Oh, yeah.
castles on. I'm gonna shoot it.
Everything goes into
And-
slow motion.
Sure, there's like fireworks going on above.
Yep.
But I picture the fireworks are kind of still a bit distant.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And sure, they're loud.
They're up there like high canopy, right? That's how I described them earlier, right? And then there's this foggy mist below that, like a second canopy layer, and then just below
Oh,
that.
I just thought of something
Yep.
idea.
Yep. Do it.
Actually,
Do it.
I'm gonna throw it more in front of me.
Yep.
And so I shoot it so it explodes behind them, and then I burst.
And you come
with
through the
dog.
fire.
And I
Oh
come
yeah.
Smoke with the
Yes.
gas on.
Yes. Full hero. This is why Thomas thinks you're a hero. Because yeah, Sid, they're coming. Like you got to be in last stance mode. Like, yeah, you can light this on fire, but they're still gonna come because they think they can get some before it's burned, right?
1st
You're-
person that basically
Yep.
he's got has his hand up like this, but that entire arm is just tense muscle. The first person
And the
that comes
hammer's
towards
just
him,
the hammer's
is going
just
to get it.
wound. And as they start to close, you sense this tension at the back of the pack. It's like another fight broke out over there somewhere, and you see the back of the crew in that area start to turn, and there's a fire across the road. This gigantic mechanical dog comes through it, now covered in flames like napalm. Riding on top of it, this gas masked face. Ah! I'm assuming you're screaming because you just like you would, right?
Yeah, I'm
Through
doing
the-
like
yeah.
the muffled like police yell.
With
you know?
your
Oh,
with
shit,
the
you
hand
guys
in
see
the
what's
air.
going-
It's like you're all under fucking arrest. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that we're just gonna do this. It plows into the back of the crowd, right? And there's people everywhere, and they start to scatter. And you're trying to steer this thing because it's got steery handles. You've never done it before, but you kind of can't miss. You're in the middle of a crowd, so every time you do, you're knocking people over, and it looks like a cop using their horse to control the crowd, but it's actually just you flailing wildly with 3 successes. So never mind. So it's like boom, boom, boom. You knock everybody away. You clear the space around it just in time to look up to see Sid about to light thousands and thousands of dollars, or thousands and thousands of these things on fire.
I wouldn't know what they are, so it doesn't matter to me.
Skid to a stop. Yeah. Okay. So even better. Yeah. Sid's looking like he's about to make a last stand on on a car full of stuffies. And that,
Charming,
before you can say a word,
Yeah.
is where we're going to drop the curtain on tonight.
The
If
most
Sid was
Monty
allowed,
Python fucking ass
Oh, yeah,
thing.
yeah.
if Sid was allowed to say anything, it would have been on the lines. So this requires a bit of context.
So yeah, we'll give it a week. Okay, actually,
Yeah.
we'll take that and we'll take that from there. So yes, yes.
I can explain.
You guys,
Yeah.
you kind of almost didn't get to the fair still, but yeah, you. So I decided to bring the fair to you. So we were gonna have fun tonight, one way or the other. So we did. It was great, silly fun. It was. Out of all the NPCs, this is the first. They're all so easy to play, including Thomas, the 13-year-old. But tonight was difficult because it's like where I want to go with like a real 13-year-old boy. What's going through their mind when puberty hits is unbroadcastable. So I had to try. I had to try and like make that play somehow without breaking all the rules. So it was great fun.
Preteens are just chemical imbalance.
Oh yes,
in
yeah. There's no
general.
thought. It's just want. Yeah, yeah.
I'll understand what it means later.
Yeah. So yes, that was a lot of fun. Thank you for that. I came up with that idea literally after we started tonight. It's like, oh no, he's trying to impress the girls. It's that simple. Because what inspires Thomas, right? Up until now, it's been I'm the best thief ever. But what happens? Oh God, he's a teenager. Oh God,
Yeah.
puberty.
His,
Oh
his
no.
number one
Oh,
I wouldn't say his number one motivation, but one of the most obvious external ones is the fame. He wants to be popular. So now
Yes,
he's
that's
got all
all he
these
wants. He
all
wants to be
these
the cool
Big man on
chicks.
kid.
campus.
Yeah, he wants to
And
be the
all
cool
these
kid. That's
chicks.
all he wants.
But
Yeah.
he doesn't have any skills. He's
Yeah,
just
and
good at
nowhere
taking shit.
and nowhere to sort of to use the word to hone them. There's no other teenage boys his group
Exactly.
to like try shit on or talk to or anything. He's the only male in that building. So and he's only borderline male, if I may use the phrase, of a prepubescent, post-pubescent boy, sort of that point. Yeah. Anyway, you dealt with it wonderfully. Thank you so much for that, Coes. I love using Thomas to make Coes uncomfortable, and every time I do, it's a bow in Phil's direction because I know you can take it. I know you will resist the urge to use Phil's brain to solve the problem. You will continue to let Coes just get stomped
Yep.
by this kid, and
Yeah.
I love that about you. So thank you. I appreciate that so much. Yeah, I had to drop the dad hat on you today. There was no question. You went way beyond because there was so many ways you could have done tonight. Right? You could have done older brother. Let's go get hammered, and I'll tell you about girls. You could have done bad uncle. Let me give you the secret, kitty. Right? But you didn't do any of those. Right?
Yeah,
you
you went for
really
the father.
told him that you went to father figure and tried to tell him how to be good, how to be nice to people. Right? So I
Yeah.
appreciate that
Or
on
like
many levels.
well-meaning, like
Yeah.
high school
Honest.
counselor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
like
this-
a high school counselor.
yeah.
Well,
something like-
sport.
See,
Yeah.
Coes doesn't like the father thing,
Yeah.
but I love it. I love
Not
it.
well, and it's not perfect, but also part of that is I play my NPCs deep. Part of that is Fatima manipulating you.
Yeah.
Right. If she throws that word at you, now you are responsible. All
Responsible,
she has
yeah.
to do now is send a letter, and you got to come back and fix your boy. So yeah,
Your
that's part of
son
it too.
is
yeah.
acting up again.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. So thank you for that, Phil. We split
Does that
you up.
make
You
this
had a little.
a custody situation?
Yeah, a
I'll
custody
pay
situation
child support.
where you take him. No, fuck that. You take him. No, I will pay child support if you take him. No. Let's just put him in a home. We tried that. He stole everything and left.
He moved the home.
He
somewhere
took the
else.
whole place. Yeah. So thank you so much, Phil. We got you at the start and the end of the episode. Oh wow, this is gonna take a while to get through all these because Wayward. Wow. You've been threatening to snap for weeks, and you're finally sitting in a. Yeah.
I need to make a confession.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, this has been coming for Delilah. Peek behind the curtain for those of you who don't know Delilah's mechanics. Delilah acquired a king, and her king is dissociation. And I haven't pulled her king yet, but this felt like a very appropriate time for her
Yeah.
to dissociate.
Yeah.
I took a sneak peek. Her king is the next card in the pile.
Perfect.
So
Okay.
do
So
we want to leave it as the
played
next
it.
card in the pile?
no, you played it.
played it.
You just
Okay.
played it. Yeah.
Okay.
That says, and we'll start next episode with. And again, it's up to you guys. And again, I do this because I know you'll string it out longer than I would. How long those effects last? Artemis has been going on. They're going to be heading into their third session on the same king next week. So yeah, feel free to let it play as long as you like. But thank
I probably
you.
wouldn't let it go as much as it does, but it is very
The
poignant
trigger.
to
Well, yeah,
real life.
real life and the triggers. Like it's not
Yeah.
going to go. Your
No, it's gonna get worse. It's
headaches
just gonna
don't
keep
go away.
cycling.
Yeah, exactly. But thank you so much, Wayward, for finally letting Delilah crack. The idea of what the place, the timing is so epically like symbolic, curled up in a corner in a fair where everybody's having fun but you. It's like it's just this little seed of
It-
sad sitting in the
Literally
corner.
The day after the reality
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
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 Yeah. And I think the word oblivion is really appropriate for what
Yes.
I described because oblivion does not imply happiness
Yes.
necessarily.
Yeah, there's no
It
answer.
just
for it.
kind of
It's I
it's
can't
just
deal.
like a
Yeah.
total
Yeah.
it's like yeah.
And the bravery that all of you were showing to play these characters with these weaknesses and then openly admit that a lot of his character bleed. That's that's a big deal. So thank you all for trusting me and the whole chat and everybody else with that level of honesty. So thank you very much for that. Thunderscape, Robin. How many traumas you got now? Did you add any tonight or not yet?
No, I did not.
No?
Not yet.
You've had a headache
I've
for
only
your character's
got-
had a
I've only
headache for
got
18
5
hours.
Traumas.
Yeah.
Do you
yeah.
get a trauma for pulling a king?
That's
No.
up to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We decided that
I
all,
don't do
all
that.
yeah, all traumas except physical ones we've decided are up to you guys. So you decide.
Okay.
Because like I said, you'll do it more to yourselves than I will.
That's
Speaking
fine.
of which,
Basically-
Artemis, Artemis is interesting to me because they haven't broken yet. They just keep plugging. They just keep doing the thing. Like they're used to
Oh, it's
operating
there.
in this mind space. They're
Yeah, she's on fight or flight all the time.
yeah. You're
Or
just stuck in.
or
Yeah.
was Artemis already broken before we started?
So there's no
I
place
mean,
to
yes.
go. Yes, but
The
yes,
answer is yes to
yes.
both of those.
Either way, you're sort of this almost like this anchor, right? You've changed, but not as much as some of the others have, right? You're still, from the outside, you're still functional, in
Mhm.
spite of the 5 to 6 plus traumas that you actually have as a character. Yes.
Yeah.
But thank you for playing that. A lot of people in a lot of games, and I get to see it a lot, their number one concern is getting back to 100% health. Right? As soon as you get hurt in D&D, call the cleric. Or we're going back to town. I need a healing potion, right? I'm going nowhere with 17 of 19 hit points. Fuck you. Right? And here it's like, I add another trauma.
Hey, I took one off last week.
Yes. We kind of forced you to. There's people here with skills that can force you to remove traumas, essentially, if you so much as speak to them. So,
Like
we
if
got
it
that.
works narratively, it works, but
Oh,
also
yeah.
I don't mind having the traumas on there because
Yep.
yeah, she's functional. She's not actively bleeding out or like incapable of moving or like thinking. So she's like, I'm fine.
And that's the thing, is there's also no question in my mind that it's coming.
Oh,
The shatter
absolutely.
is coming, right? As soon as you get everybody else's ducks in a row, your
Mhm,
ducks are going to explode. It's going to
Yeah.
look like a nuclear explosion as a feather factory. But yeah, I got you. Perfect. And that brings us to Bison_Stonefist. I don't know why I do that second part half an octave higher, but it's core now. Sid, Sid is so interesting to me because he is macho without being macho. He's fatherly without being fatherly. He's just this honest guy who wants to protect the people around him and can't understand why people just won't let him get on with his fucking day. He is.
I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of my dad in Sid.
Oh, I absolutely, yeah. He's.
His
I-
work
we-
ethic, 100%.
we
is my
called
dad.
Coes, he's a dad, but that's in a sort of relationship way. Sid's more of got the daditude, right? He's
Yep.
got that sort of it's just another day in paradise. Here we fucking go. Give me my coffee, and we're gonna do this, right? Give me my tea, and we're gonna do
Don't
this.
make me turn this thing around.
Yes, exactly.
right?
Yeah, you kids, be quiet in the back.
Don't
Yeah,
make me torch these plushies.
Yeah.
yeah. But it's
I'll
so,
do it.
Yeah,
If I
it's-
have to raise my voice, heaven help me.
Yeah. But
Oh,
but
you're
as,
fucked if I
with
do.
as much as Sid's gone through, I still can't help feeling that he's 20 minutes away from a backyard barbecue for the whole neighborhood. Like it's just he's that guy, right? Is the second he's got the stuff, he's just gonna feed everybody and make sure everybody's got a beer, and he's just gonna be that guy. He wants normal. There's what I'm trying to get to. Sid's
Yes.
just he wants normal. And
His life before all of this was routine.
yes,
Wake up, go to work,
Yes.
come home, have
Yeah.
a drink, go to bed. That
Sid
was his life. He was
Sid
a
was
hermit.
stressed out that he was only going to get to go to work on Fridays. Sid was trying to figure out how to go to work 5 days a week so it didn't fuck with his schedule. Sid is like,
Now
no,
he's stuck
2
with these
pieces of
chuckle
toast, 2
fucks."
pieces of toast every morning. I'm going back to bed if I don't get 2 pieces of toast. Right? He's like a dog, that level. Every day wants to be the same, right? And now every day is different. So it's amazing to watch. In other words, you guys are stunning good. You're beyond RPG because you're not playing roles, you're acting. And I see it on Twitter all the time. You're not performers, you're players. Yeah, watch this and tell me that we're not performers.
Yeah. Someone who says that has never played Vampire the Masquerade.
They don't play well, and there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with the way anybody plays. But when you play in first person by default, when you don't say I try and charm the guard, instead you say I walk up to the guard and say, and you actually try
you
and
do
charm me. That's what I love about this channel. That's what we do different here, and that's why you don't roll and you don't make plays half as often as other channels. Because if you role play, if you act the character out, it's like the movie, right? You see the winning speech, you don't go make a roll at the end of it, right? You say that worked. So for all of you, that worked. It was amazing. It's been amazing up till now, and it's not going to stop being amazing. But before I continue to go on and on and on about it, because I will, it's not even role play versus role play. Those are both at the other end of the spectrum. What you guys are doing is acting. And it is, we're so used to seeing it because almost every show here, everybody does it. But if you go to events and you go to cons, you see a lot more of Franco the Barbarian hits it with a stick. Jerry the Bard, or my character talks to the guard and tries to talk our way through, right? That's the way a lot of people game, and I'm really happy that we don't here. So, with that, and hey, Roosbar, nice to see you, buddy.
It's the guy with the stuff.
With the stuff and
And
the
the
thing
beard.
and the beard, yeah, and it's a forked beard now, so yeah, it's very cool.
Beards.
Beards, yes, the beards of Roosbar. Oh, that sounds like an adventure.
I was gonna say,
Raft.
it sounds like a
We're after the
sounds like
beards,
a
the beards of Roosbar.
80s fantasy novel.
Yeah, with a pirate theme.
Yeah.
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 My favorite monk
So that's-
barbarian.
That's not a Piers Anthony book.
Monkbarian, yes.
Surprisingly, no.
And
That felt-
ouch,
that-
ouch.
Rule.
All right, with
hurt.
that, let's get to chat. Thank you, chat. You guys are awesome always. A lot of it was us tonight, but a lot of it wasn't. So thank you. Special shout out tonight. I keep forgetting because I do it at the start, and then it's been an hour and a half, and brain don't remember. But I remember tonight. Huge shout out to Hellhounds. They show up every bloody episode and just hammer the shit out of all the bots. We are bot free because of one wonderful person. So that is Hellhounds 20. Thank you for that, for keeping us bot free. That's marvelous.
Yeah.
I have not had anything offered to sell me sex in our chat in months. So thank you.
Sorry, that caught me off, guys.
I heard the sticker and I had to look up to see the response, and now I'm enjoying it. Yes, join us on our Discord. There it is in chat. Also, to the people watching the VOD, thank you for watching it. The numbers are great and they're getting better all the time. To the people on YouTube, thank you. Holy cow, there's a lot of you. Keep popping in, keep showing up, keep watching. When those numbers get big, believe me, it feels good. So keep doing that. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, do all the things. You know what they are by now. Good grief, you've watched a bazillion of these. And then, until next time, and before I melt, because it's still over 30 in here, and the heat just hit me because we're not playing anymore, and reality's impinging, and I don't like it. So before that happens completely, one more thing, the important thing. You all know what it is, and it's still important. I'm still going to say it, and it's more than just a catchphrase. I mean it every damn time. Until next time, please be nice to each other. Good night.
Bye.